Today, I am just going to do a short and special little Halo video. See, I am actually about to be headed out of town for about a week, so I wanted to get one more upload in before I head out. Halo is a fascinating universe with many different quirks and pieces of lore. It isn't just the lore, the games have a ton of fascinating aspects to them. Today, I am going to cover 7 fun and odd facts about Halo you probably did not know. Number 1. The significance of the number 7. Halo has always had a special relationship with the number 7. In fact, the number 7 appears so often in so many places you wouldn't expect, it actually gets rather creepy. A colony is named Jericho 7. A UNSC destroyer is 7 meters longer than a frigate. Only 7 ships survived the Battle of Sigma Octanus 4. The number 7 appears at the end of the Master Chief's designation, Spartan 117. Simultaneously, 1 times 1 times 7 equals 7. There are 7 Halo rings. It goes on and on and on. The reason for this, it actually goes back to Bungie. Bungie has always had this obsession with the number 7, and the truth is, we don't actually know why. It could be attributed to the fact that 7 is considered by many to be a lucky number. Or it could just be that the folks at Bungie thought it was cool. Other developers and writers that have contributed to the Halo universe, such as 343 or Ensemble Studios, have been prominent in continuing this tradition. Number 2. Reversed messages. Halo has always had its fair share of creepy secrets and Easter eggs. One of them is the fact that its soundtrack has reversed messages in it. The most famous example arguably comes from Halo 2's soundtrack, The Destroyer's Invocation, which is the first movement of the Mausoleum Suite. Players listening to the song may hear what sounds like incoherent whispering or muttering. If you reverse this chatter, you get a very creepy message. Interestingly, Martin O'Donnell claimed that the transcript was wrong. In Halo 3, there are a few hidden messages. In the Halo 3 soundtrack of Black Tower, there is more reversed audio that appears to be a reference to the Holoment by T.S. Eliot. There are also hidden messages in the soundtracks Gravemind and Dread Intrusion. In Halo Reach, there are datapads you can find with reversed audio in the background. In Halo 2 Anniversary soundtrack, Cryptic Whisper, there is also a reversed message, which, if you manage to discover, will actually be a musical reading of the Didact's epilogue speech in Halo 4. Number 3. Admiral Cole's Insurrectionist wife. Preston J. Cole had a pretty crazy life. Like, really crazy. Most of the time when Cole is mentioned, people will immediately think of his actions during the Human Covenant War. However, Cole served for quite a while before the Coveys even showed up. During the insurrection, when huge chunks of the outer colonies were in open rebellion against the UNSC, Cole served as the captain of a UNSC destroyer known as the Gorgon. It was the first ship of its class to have a magnetic accelerator cannon. He was tasked with hunting the rogue ship known as the Bellicose. However, the Bellicose was always one step ahead. The Gorgon and Bellicose would fight in a number of battles. At one point, the two fought to a standstill after discharging all of their ordnance. Cole and the captain of the Bellicose would engage in a text-only conversation as the two ships withdrew. At some point while he was on leave at the backwater world of Roost after a fight with the Bellicose, he entered into a relationship with a woman by the name of Lyra Castilla. The two would marry each other in 2502, and later on, Cole would write to his brother that Lyra was pregnant and he had not been so happy in a long time. This bliss sadly would not last very long, as in 2503, Admiral Harold Stanforth and the Office of Naval Intelligence had discovered that Lyra was actually a high-ranking insurrectionist. Worse, she was the captain of the Bellicose, meaning that she had been his main rival and enemy in space for the last few years. Cole was allowed the chance to try to convince Lyra to turn herself in, but when he returned to their home on Roost, she was gone. It is assumed that she gave birth to their child while she was in hiding. 6 months later, the Bellicose was reported lost with all hands, and the UNSC presumed she was dead, but this wouldn't be the last Cole saw her. During the Battle of Serpentis, also known as Admiral Cole's Last Stand, Cole's battle group India would engage in the single largest battle of the Human Covenant War. When hope was dwindling, Lyra would lead a fleet of 55 insurrectionist warships to Cole's aid. Later on, codenamed Surgeon determined that it was likely Cole faked his death at Serpentis, and evidence suggests that he settled down with Lyra somewhere in hiding. This amazing story comes from The Impossible Life and Possible Death of Preston J. Cole by Eric Nyland, who also wrote The Fall of Reach. I highly recommend you read it. Number 4. The Flood might have infected other galaxies. That's right, the Flood is easily the single most powerful and dangerous organism in the Halo universe. Arguably, their biggest known feat in Halo lore was their near complete and total takeover of the Milky Way galaxy. The only thing that stopped them from leaving the galaxy and taking over the rest of, well, everything was the Forerunners' last-ditch effort in the firing of the Halo array, which effectively eradicated all traces of sentient life in the galaxy. However, this may have actually not prevented the Flood from expanding past our small little corner in the universe. In fact, it's not just a possibility, but flat out implied that the Flood is still out there running wild and uncontrolled in a few pieces of Halo media. There is a solid chance that the Milky Way has only temporarily staved off the inevitable feast that is the Flood's dinner. Number 5. Parisia and the Palace Hotel. This is a rather sad but sweet one, and how canon it is happens to be subject to debate as it somewhat conflicts with Halo 2. Given 343's everything is equally canon until stated otherwise in newer lore stands, you can see why there's a bit of conflict here. In the Halo Evolution story, Palace Hotel, Parisia is a lieutenant in the E2 BAG Regiment, a unit of Marines that came from the glassed world of Eridanus 2. During the fight for and subsequent fall of New Mombasa, Parisia and some other E2s of Kilo Company were holed up in a command post they had set up in a derelict hotel. Spartan 117, the Master Chief, met up with the E2s. The Chief, John is his real name by the way, would discuss the situation with Parisia, who was holding a photo in her hand. John, the Chief, was about to reprimand her for bringing a personal item into combat, but he noticed the picture. And the picture was that of himself and Parisia as children. Parisia, noticing him looking at the picture, would explain to the Spartan the story behind the photo, not knowing it was actually John behind the armor. She said that John had saved her from drowning when they were children, and the two had promised to marry each other one day. She would tell the Chief that although it was silly because he was dead, she intended to hold John to that promise. Although John really wanted to tell Parisia, he knew what would happen if he told her. He was Spartan 117, the Master Chief, and he had a job to do. The two of them would then plan a counterattack against the Covenant. This story is set in the level Metropolis in Halo 2. While its canon status is very questionable, personally I think it is a beautiful but sad story and deserves its place in the canon. Number 6. Craig. I couldn't not bring this one up, especially after depressing you, but back in 2020, we all know it, the Craig meme started after seeing the generally bad state Halo Infinite was in. 343, rather than being insulted by the meme, actually made the meme canon. That's right, Craig is canon. People with early access to the campaign found Easter eggs to Craig, who is literally a rock star touring Zeta Halo. I may have avoided spoilers, but goddamn, I had no chance of avoiding this meme. I am hoping that we can see him perform, like, a video or something. I don't know. I want to see more of Craig. Like, come on. Let's make it happen. Number 7. 343 Guilty Spark was once a human. 343 Guilty Spark is easily one of the most beloved and simultaneously hated characters in Halo, and well, we all know why. What a lot of people don't know about our little floating lightbulb nemesis is that he was once an ancient human named Chakas. He lived as an ancient human during the Forerunner Flood War on Erd Tyrene. which was what Earth was called at the time. A forerunner, known as the Librarian, had imprinted something called a gauge in him at birth, and he would become part of her plans, whether he knew it or not. Eventually, after suffering fatal wounds to his body, his mind was transferred into the shell of a monitor, and he would spend the rest of his existence serving the Forerunner agenda. However, as time went on after the array, there were certainly signs that he was going rampant. From talking to himself, to laughing and talking incoherently, to literally launching pieces of his ring into space out of boredom, it was pretty clear. I mean, you could even see it in the game Halo CE. However, he always kept true to his task, until we kind of put him out of the job in CE. Yeah, he was pretty mad about that. And that is the 7 odd fun facts about Halo. I really had a shit ton of fun making this, so please let me know you liked this by liking and commenting your favorite odd Halo fact. Who knows, maybe I'll cover it in a future one. Also, if you want to see more of me, maybe consider subscribing. And hey, if you want to talk to me directly while I'm away on vacation, join my Discord. I'm there literally all the damn time, and I would love to see you there. That said, have a nice day. I will see you in the cosmos, friends.